Hello, you're here with T.
And Matthew. And Ty.
And we are the Bing Zang Zoom podcast. All right, now for today, we have a couple things to talk about. One, being bathroom/locker room etiquette, right? I know a lot of people have violated the etiquette of bathrooms and locker rooms all over the world. All right, but I can only speak for my own experiences, not in violating, but in having the etiquette be violated, right? So, one big place where it's violated is gyms, right? Locker rooms at gyms. You know, you always got that old guy that is like, listen, I've lived my life. You know, I don't really care about anything else. You know, I'm just going to let my nuts hang. And that's exactly what happens.
He wants to show them off is what it is.
Right.
Yeah. It's kind of like a tree, you know. How long it is how old you are, you know, instead of like how many rings.
Or like how many inches is a decade?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, oh my goodness. Well, you have that, but you also like, not only are they getting shown off sometimes, but then you have the ones that like no towel want to have a full conversation with you. Like, what's that about? What's the purpose for that?
Dude, I have no idea, but I got a good story.
Maybe when we get old, maybe we're not old enough. That's the issue.
I think that is the issue. But at my gym that I went to before my current gym, my roommate and I used to go into the sauna after everything was over, after we finished working out and everything. And of course, we'd take our shirts off, but we'd still have on our pants and underwear and all that stuff. And there was always this older guy, not super old, but older, gray hair and everything. And he would come in after showering, and he would hang up his towel over the heating unit, and then just stand around in there naked. And one day he comes in, and there's two levels of seats, and my roommate's sitting on the first level. The dude hangs up his towel, walks over, puts his leg on the bench that my roommate's sitting on, and so his face is level with this guy's junk. And then the guy starts doing pelvic stretches, going, oh, and stretching out. So my roommate, Zach is his name. Zach looks over at me.
Oh, damn.
And just deadpan, just like no expression on his face, just looks over at me. We make eye contact. He looks back at the guy's junk. He stands up and he goes, nah, man, nah, just pushes the guy out of the way.
Yo!
And walks out.
Yo, people are violent, and not for nothing. Like, for example, I was watching this video on Facebook. Right, it's this old guy, and I guess it's like the home nurses, whatever. Right, you know, they're helping him around and trying to help him out and stuff like that. So one of them is he's got one of them. He's got a cane. One of them is got his arm and is helping him walk, like I guess towards the door. Right, and meanwhile he's talking to the one that's filming. He's like, you know, oh, I'd love to just grab one of your breasts.
Oh.
Would you let me? And whatnot. She's like, well, I'm married. He's like, well, F that guy. I'm like, yo, when you get to a certain age, like, you just don't care. Like, I'm sure he's not fighting nobody. But at the same time, he's just like, look, if I'm going to go out, this time I'm going to go out, you know, sucking on the nipple.
So he said F that guy?
Yeah,
meaning
he said
her
F
husband.
that guy.
So
Yeah.
he wanted a three-way. That's what I'm hearing.
Oh, wow.
That's what I mean, hey, you only live once, and he was on his way out, so
Right.
I would say grant the wish.
You know? Put that on a resume. Be like, yeah, you know, I helped the old guy pass over.
Yeah, even though you know he's old, I mean that's sexual assault right there. That's horrible. It's a terrible thing.
But yeah, it gets pretty rough on that. Like, for example, right? So, one of the things that always gets me, and don't get me wrong, I've run to the urinal needing to go, like, not realizing it or been holding it for a while. You know, sometimes I would have been driving back and forth for hours, and I'm like, you know, I just got to stop at the rest stop. And when I get to the rest stop, you know,
the second you see it bounces forward like 100%.
right.
Doubles immediately.
Exactly. So, you know, I understand that, but like when people just, when they come up and they like yodeling at the urinal, run up to the urinal, like,
I'm not gonna lie, that's me at this point though. Like, I feel like I'm getting to that age now. Like, I make dad noises getting off the couch. So after, like, say, you know, I have like you know, like, let's say like I have a couple beers and I run to the bathroom real quick. I have hand up against the wall, hand on my junk, and I'm just going, oh yes, like, just I can't help it. Like, it's just a knee-jerk reaction at this point. And I think that's partially due to my unhealthy habits and my old age at this point.
What you gotta do is then you gotta lick that hand that was on the wall afterwards.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, I wash. Like, because I already know, because sometimes, you know, you get a little bit on your leg if you're wearing shorts or it's splashing so hard, you know? It just looks like a rocket just going into the toilet bowl.
Do you have to have, like, the handle? You know how you got the handle, the oh shit handle in the car? Do you have to have that, like, the handle above the urinal? Like,
that's why I use the handicap bathroom in public spaces, you know? I gotta brace myself for what's about to happen.
Facts. Hey, I don't blame you there.
Sounds like Jurassic Park.
That's usually me.
Get like a little, you know how like you can get like face shields, you know, get like a little pee shield, you know, it just goes around your junk so that way it doesn't spray all over the place.
So you have to shower every time you pee?
Exactly.
Now here's one you gotta love is the people that talk on the phone while being in the bathroom stall.
Oh yeah. You're
like in the next stall
conversation.
next to you and be like, hey, you want to come over later?
Just dropping a mean duke, and this guy's just like, hey, you know, how you doing, Latricia? Like, you trying to go out to dinner tonight?
Yeah, like how you macking like that? You macking with a girl like, yeah, you know, right now I'm taking the shit though, but you know,
plop, plop.
After this though, I'd love to take you.
Let me wipe my ass first.
Oh goodness.
Okay, now here's a good one though. What about in bars? Because I mean, in bars, you know, everything's going to go out a little bit, right? Bathrooms are going to be slightly dirtier and whatever. Yeah. If you drink too much and you have to puke, do you puke in the sink or the toilet? And what if all the toilets are taken up? Well, then where do you puke?
I puke where I stand.
Oh, man's man.
So I would rather puke in the dumpster around back than have to puke in the bathroom at a bar. Like,
oh man, that's tough. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I've been to a club where I went in the bathroom and, bruh, no lie, I went in the bathroom. Mind you, there's other people like using it and whatnot, but I was like, yo, I cannot do this to myself. I'm like, yo, the outside, the dance floor looks immaculate. You know, everything looks nice. As soon as I went to the bathroom, I was like, yo, do people clean in here, or is this just the area that's neglected?
It's like a person like with Tourette's just ran in there and just like unzipped his pants and just started spraying pee everywhere.
Shitting on the walls. Like, yo, what's going on, man? I'm good.
It's like, how?
You know how
I
much
just cleaned this like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's true. You know how much bodily fluids are probably in there, but everything is in there.
And there's certain places. And there's like certain places too, like certain bathrooms. Like I've worked at, you know, like restaurants and stuff like that, little small town ones, and like they'll have bathrooms that just like have permanent like stains and stuff like that you couldn't get out no matter what. Like so, it always like just looks dirty, even though like you went in there and you gave it the prime time cleaning. Like Mr. Clean came by and like gave it an A+. Like, you just going ham on that, and like it just never looks clean just because there's just always these stains that are just there that just sit and fester for like ever.
Sure, listen, if I'm the restaurant owner, I'm just going to be like, yeah, that gives the place style. I would just stain the whole outside.
The culture.
Basically,
look,
just stain the walls out here where they're eating at. We're going to call the place the restroom.
Yeah, like I used to, when I lived in Seattle, there was a pretty famous hotel brand, but I'm not going to name which one, right next door to my house. So it was literally like my apartment building, and then next door was the hotel. And so I used to hang out in the bar of the hotel because all my friends worked over there, and I had bandmates that were there and stuff. And so we did a lot of drinking. It was a very nice, I almost said the brand name. It was a very nice, fancier hotel.
Right.
But sometimes we would go to the wee hours in the morning and we'd drink a little too much. And I remember this one night, I just got obliterated. And so I'm just, had to go and let some stuff out of the top instead of the bottom. and so I run to the bathroom, and all the stalls were taken up for whatever reason. So it's just like, well, into the sink I go.
Oh, word.
And so I came and I puked all over the sink, and and then of course like people went in later on, and again all my friends worked there, and so they're like, man, we got to clean that up now, you jackass.
Hey,
it hasn't been a good night unless if you peed in the sink at least once.
Hey, look, you're just telling them, hey, you're just trying to secure their jobs, okay? That's it.
Yeah, I've got so many bad stories about puking at the bars, though. One time I puked on a friend's birthday cake.
Oh, no.
That happened.
No.
There was another time one of my friends made, he basically made moonshine. And so a bunch of us went over there, and we were drinking, and I'm just like, okay, I've had enough. And they're like, no, keep drinking. So I went to the bathroom.
As friends do.
And I threw up, and I'm like, I think I came back out. I'm like, I think I got most of it in the toilet, but I'm sorry if I puked on your floor. And he's like, it's fine. Everybody else went to the bathroom, and they're like, dude, it was on the ceiling. I was like, I get none of it had got in that toilet. I promise you. Like, you think most of it got in? No, none of it.
In fact, the toilet was clean. It was sparkling.
Basically. Dang. Well. Moving on, right? From that, because that's a thousand stories for that. If you could, what would you bring back from the past? Anything that you can think of? Say again?
Dunkaroos.
Oh, snap. He said
like original Dunkaroos. I don't want like a company to take the Dunkaroos and bring it back and like, oh, this is sugar-free and this is gluten-free. It's like, no, just give me the regular like instant cavity like sweetness of Dunkaroos. That's what I want. That's what I would bring back.
I'd say the bubonic plague.
Oh.
I mean, we're pretty much there already. You might as well just go full force with it.
You're not wrong.
Oh, man. Yo.
Honestly, though, I think my answer would be, especially right now, because there's so many things that we can't do. Right. I think right now a great thing to bring back would be drive-in movies.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bring their own snacks, bring their own stuff, just drive in. Right. You'd have to, like, keep cleaning the speakers, but unless you could eat it on your cell phone, actually that'd be a great way to do it. Like have an app that you go into your cell phone and then sound plays through that.
Right. Nah, that's a good idea. See,
that is. Yeah.
Hey, 2020 business idea right there. The drive-through theater. Well, I would say Sega. I just want to see Sega back as like an actual competitor.
Yeah.
I just miss Sega. Like, they had so many games. I just like the feel. Thinking of Sega brings back certain memories are attached to Sega. And, I would want to see Sega be able to make a comeback. I don't know what they would call their system because everything is taken.
Sega!
Sega quarantine. Sega quarantine.
The Sega Ultra Deluxe Magnificent Console 2.
Right. Hey, we're just gonna name this one after our most famous star, the Sega Sonic. That's it.
Yeah, right. Sonic Master or something. That would be a cool name, like Sonic Master. I don't know. Try to bring back Sonic, but that'd be crazy. That'd be hard because then you would have to try to bring like Sonic back, because Sonic was like honestly their Mario essentially. So like you would, it's on all platforms now. So like you really wouldn't
like I need that back.
Give me that back, Xbox.
Word. I know y'all had it for about 20 years or so, but I'm gonna need that back. Man, I just feel like Sega got a bad shake, man. I feel like I don't know what the final blow was. I don't know if it was the Dreamcast or if they were already having problems before that.
Well, I think it was just because of the popularity with Nintendo and Sony already. It was just kind of already more well established. More people were getting. You were getting like Final Fantasy at the time on PlayStation, but you weren't getting that on Sega. Yeah. Like you were getting all the Resident Evil. You were getting all these popular games that had already been like established with Sony. And of course, you had Mario. There was no way like Sonic was going to keep up with games like Mario. It just
once you had Sega Saturn, like that was where the divide happened. That I noticed. At first, Sega Saturn. I think in our house we had Sega Saturn first, and somehow that got turned into a PlayStation.
And well, honestly, like I really did like the Dreamcast. I don't think the Dreamcast gets like the respect that I think it deserves. Like I had a Dreamcast.
Same here. I had that too. Yeah. I think it just had too much to it. That memory card
was like the coolest thing. That memory card was so freaking cool. I don't know if you ever had a Dreamcast, but like if you ever used that memory card with like certain games, it had a little like display on the memory card.
Yep.
And with certain games, you could get like maps or like special items and stuff like that would pop up through the memory card, which is a cool little add-on. It also added a rumble pad for it. But I don't know. I played my Dreamcast a lot, to be completely honest.
Same here. I just forget the name of the game that I used to play. It was some joint with the guy with a huge sword, but it wasn't Final Fantasy. Like it was like it was gory. It was a crazy gory game.
Golden Axe.
Yes, Golden Gore. All the gore that's in Golden Axe. Now, Golden Axe is alright. You know, it's cool. But yeah, so another thing I'll bring back is probably memorizing phone numbers. Like, you know, before we used to know people's numbers, and now that has subsided.
There's only one number I need to know, which is 911.
right. I don't think you can call him if you forget somebody's number. Like, I forgot my neighbor's number. Can y'all go and do a wellness check on my neighbor and ask him his phone number?
See, now here's where it gets interesting, though. If you get arrested and you have to make your one phone call, like I said, the only number I know is 911. So I'd be at the police station dialing 911. Hello, help, I just got arrested. What?
Hey.
I can see you from here. Yeah, I
know. I know you're on your lunch break, but can you help me? What about what about breakdancing? Like, I know there's still breakdancing, but like how it used to seem back in the days, like it was a whole, you know, epic. Like it was like a UFC event or a WWE event. Imagine somebody coming out to their music. Instead of having a fight, they have a breakdance meet.
Yeah, breakdancing was certainly, you know, a lot more popular at one time. But it's interesting. I was actually, T, you and I were talking about this several months back. But when breakdancing became real big in New York, there was actually a massive drop in gang violence.
Yep.
And the reason why it got as popular as it was I think it was 42nd Street. I forget which street it was. But there's a theater that started playing these real old kung fu movies, Shaw Brother movies, et cetera, et cetera. And so a lot of African Americans who, you know, didn't have a lot of money, started hanging around those theaters and watching these old kung fu movies and copying the moves and then taking it out into dance battles and stuff.
Yep.
So it was this really interesting mixing of cultures that, you know, ended up resulting in things like Wu-Tang and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. So that would be great to bring back. Any place that is, you know, they need to bring it to probably certain places in Chicago, you know, certain places in New York, certain places where you know that the murder rate is high and there's lots of gang violence and stuff like that. You know, Hey, listen, we about to handle this a different way. You pick the person that can dance the best, and I'm gonna pick my person that can dance the best, and we're gonna see who really got it, and that's gonna be that. And we're gonna do it once a month or something like that, just to keep the violence down for a month. And then you got bragging rights for your whole neighborhood the whole time, and you also got a month to train in case you took an L. I think it makes sense.
Yeah, and at the end of the year, we'll hold a Super Bowl.
Word.
Best breakdancing team out there.
What would you call that? What would you call it?
Streets.
The super streets.
And what we're going to do is we're going to step up. Everybody's got to step up their game to get out here in the streets.
It's going to be like a Disney movie or something.
It works.
Somebody's going to make that.
Oh, that's already a movie.
Yeah, like that movie Step Up.
Step Up,
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah, exactly. I really like that franchise. I haven't seen like some of the newer ones, but I like the first three a lot.
Oh yeah, the first
what was that drink called?
They kind of just got like the Fast and the Furious movies and just started.
Vin Diesel busting a move.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he did ballet, right?
There's not enough muscle here. We need to get The Rock in this guy.
Right.
This is the Napoleon Dynamite dance he did from that one SNL skit.
Hey, y'all could, it could be like Stomp the Yard on steroids.
That was a good movie.
Yeah. All right. So, what about this Final Fantasy VII game? So it's out.
Yes, it's out. It's out. Somebody put it back.
oh, damn. Well, we had a poll on the Bing Zang Zoom group page, and the question was, have you played Final Fantasy VII? And the majority said no. I don't know if that's necessarily a reflection of the quality of the game, or people just haven't gotten to it yet.
Well, Final Fantasy used to be like the most popular games in the world. And then somewhere along the line, they became more of a niche thing, you know, with war games and stuff becoming a lot more popular.
Yeah.
Fantasy games and stuff like that kind of took a bit more of a back seat. So I really don't know. I really don't know if it would sell super hot, or you know, what the deal with that would be.
You think it was just that they waited too long?
I mean, it was like, 15 years since they put out that tech demo for PlayStation 3? And so, I mean, I know that they're saying, like, oh, this isn't an official announcement and whatever. But basically, it's been on our minds for 15 years.
All right.
And this is only part 1 of 3. I feel like the game, I haven't finished it yet. I had to get more memory for my PlayStation. That took a long time to get in. Yeah. And then I've had some stuff going on at home and haven't had time to sit down and play for the last several days. But from the point that I'm in right now, it feels like they padded out the game too much. It feels like Final Fantasy filler. It's not Final Fantasy VII, it's Final Fantasy filler at this point.
Dang.
And I just look at the difference in the quality between the cutscenes and playing the parts that were actually in the original versus all this new added material. And it's just it's not the best Final Fantasy game I've played, but the music's amazing. Most of the voice acting's really good, even though they changed out the entire cast, basically. I mean, I'd say it's a solid game, but it's just not as good as the original, or even as good as some of my other favorite Final Fantasy games.
Well, so where would you rate it? Does it get a gunshot, or does it get an applause?
I would say an applause, but just barely.
You get one clap.
All right, that's it.
I would rather play
a clap and a whistle.
This is just me personally, and I'm not knocking these games, but I would rather play a bad Final Fantasy game than a good Call of Duty game.
I can agree with you on that one, though. Like me, because I've never been like a diehard Final Fantasy fan, but I played the original 7, and I played 8, and then 10, and 10 too. But I didn't get a chance to play the remake with this one. It's been on my mind, but like it's always been like right when I go to check out to buy it, I'm just thinking like this game's not complete yet. It's only part 1, and I don't want to spend $60 on this just yet, and I'm not going to finish because I go through games within like a day. It's really bad. You can ask my wife. Like we went to GameStop one day, and I just sat there and looked at the PlayStation 4 wall for, like, literally an hour because I had beaten just about everything on the wall. So, like, I can't, like, see myself spending the $60 on Final Fantasy VII's remake right now. It looks pretty. It sounds great. But I've also heard the same reviews that you had mentioned where, you know, it feels like filler.
Right,
you know?
right.
And so that's where I'm kind of just like, I'll wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely, because I think, you know, if they didn't pad out the game with so much other random stuff, they could have fit, like, half the game on this disc, right? They didn't need to break it into 3 parts. They could have broken it into 2. But there's just, like, random boss battles that pop up and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, why do I care about this boss when I know he doesn't have any, you know, bearings on the story later on?
Right.
This is probably going to be the last time I see this guy. So
might as well kill him now. I mean, one way or the other, it would probably be the last time you saw him. if you're killing him. Oh, man. But so speaking of games, what do you think are some of the best games to play right now during the quarantine? What are the best quarantine games?
I know Matthew had brought it up when we were talking in the chat about Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing is definitely, I would say, probably the best one right now. My wife has been playing it since release, and I just recently started playing it. And it's a good break from everything, you know, kind of a break from reality. It's a good calming, you know, you're in debt to a raccoon pretty much the whole game. But it's just...
Nobody pays that guy back anyway.
Nobody does, but I mean... but it's a really good change of pace from what games are, like, currently at, you know, because you got a lot of just, like you said, Matthew, war games and stuff like that are the general, popular genres, including Fortnite and, you know, the Battle Royale style games. But it's definitely fun. I would highly recommend. You can spend, like, hours. When I first downloaded the game, I think I spent, like, 7 hours straight playing it. Like, I ignored all my kids. Like, I was just like, you know what, no, I'm just playing. But I was a good 7 hours onto the game, and I don't normally play games like that.
Right.
So that's why it was really cool, you know?
Yeah, it's very wholesome. You know, it makes you feel like I haven't played the new one, to be honest. I haven't played a Nintendo game in a very long time. But the original one back in the day was one of my favorite games. And it's just, you know, it's kind of wish fulfillment in a way, because it's just like you just wake up and do whatever you want. You don't have to worry about your job or whatever.
Right.
Everybody's nice. You know, nobody says anything mean to you. You just kind of go around and just live this very quaint existence. And that's nice. You know, it's a nice break.
Yeah.
It's like looking at, like, what's the guy's name? Thomas Kincaid, I think is his name, who paints, like, the log cabins in the woods and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just like looking at one of those paintings, but you can interact.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's funny, too, because with this one, if you played, I know you said you haven't, but if you played any of the, like, more recent ones, there's, like, this little mole guy that'll pop up and just start, like, yelling at you in the game. Like, because they make these weird squeaky noises. But, like, his is, like, really freaking aggressive. Like, and a lot of people were put off by it, so they cut him from the game. Like, they totally just axed his character out of the game because they're like, oh, we wanted to make this more of a peaceful style game. We don't want to have this mole yelling at you every 5 minutes.
They didn't want, like, the Duck Hunt dog jumping up type of deal. Nobody liked that. Nobody liked that one.
Well, there's a VR version of that, of the Duck Hunt game. I've been playing on my PC, and I think it's called like Open Season. Absolutely insane. So they take the whole Duck Hunt thing and they turn it into a horror story. If you ever get a chance, check it out on YouTube or something. It's an absolutely insane game. Like, when I started playing it, like, I just didn't think it was going to go the route that it did end up going. It's pretty fun.
Interesting.
You know, another good game for quarantine, which is very in that same sort of vein as Animal Crossing, but is The Sims.
Right.
And you know, and I don't know if anybody, like, maybe this is everybody's perspective on it, or maybe this is just me. I don't know. But the way I look at The Sims is, all it is a digital dollhouse.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, people are just playing like you'd play like little girls would play with their Barbies. That's the same exact thing, except it's digital. You know, and so it's kind of gives you that sense of human interaction again, and you can kind of, I'm going to make this person do this, and I'm going to make this person do that,
right. Yeah, get to build things and stuff like that. You know how many other games have been created based upon like the Sims groundwork? Look
at a lot.
Yeah, look at Minecraft and stuff like that. I mean, where you're building things and you get to do some other stuff, but a lot of that is built off of Sims. I haven't played Sims since the since school. Like they had us playing Sims in school, but I remember how fun it was. But yeah, so what are some of the other, what are some of the positives that are coming out of the quarantine for y'all? Anything positive out of
they say it's helping the environment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because not as many people driving and out and about and littering and stuff, so they say it's helping the environment.
Yeah, maybe in New York you could probably see the stars now, because I didn't really see stars when I was up there.
Yeah.
But it's probably going to take a little while before you can see a significant amount, but I'm sure it's helpful to not have everybody out and driving and stuff like that, because in big cities like that, you have so much pollution because there's so many people in such a small space. So it's almost like if you were to look at the cities from outer space, it probably looks crazy.
Yeah, it's like a beehive or an anthill, but for humans. Just all packed on top of each other.
It's like a Sims dollhouse.
Right, exactly. One of the positives for me is like these live battles, man. So they've had like DJs going against each other and stuff like that, and just the live DJs period, because they've been playing lots of music. And the other day I was listening to DJ Envy. Shout out to DJ Envy. And he was doing a real good mix, and I just let it play. I was like, you know what? No need for me to turn music on. I could just let Envy scratch and do what he does, and I'm good. But recently they had a artist versus artist battle, right? And so they had Teddy Riley versus Babyface, right? So basically what they do is they play all the hit songs, and they let's say you have a hit song, I have a hit song. I'm gonna play my hit, and then you try to top it with your hit, and then and we keep that going on, right? So Teddy Riley versus Babyface. For those of you who don't know who Teddy Riley is, he's credited as being the creator of New Jack Swing. He's a Soul Train Legend Award winner. Some of his notable songs are 1988's I Like and 1990's Let's Chill. And Babyface, I would have said, if you don't know who Babyface is, then you need to get some culture about you. But I can't say that anymore. Maybe 10 years ago or so. But if you don't know who Babyface is, he's known for songs like When Can I See You? 1993, 1996's Every Time I Close My Eyes.
No, that's Charlie Puth. I know that one.
Man's he's won 11 Grammys, so he's got his resume stacked, right? So these two going against each other, and so what had happened was Babyface, it was just him and his instruments, and he was just playing his stuff, and Teddy Riley went above and beyond. He had a hype man, he had a DJ, he was dancing in the video and whatnot, and so everybody was anticipating this, right? Then it came on, and because Teddy Riley had a DJ, a hype man, he's jumping around, moving around, and all this type of stuff, there was technical difficulties, so nobody that was listening in on the live could actually hear Teddy Riley. There were delays. You couldn't hear him. And so Teddy Riley just doing it up the utmost. And he said he was going to. He said he had something in store. And he did. But, bruh, do a sound check first. We do a sound check for this. Teddy Riley, come on, man. You got to do your sound check first, man. Nobody could hear. It ended up being trash, and then everybody Look, see, that's the cops coming for you right there, Teddy. But it ended up being trash, man. And everybody wanted to see that. That'd be like that was like when you went to go see Mortal Kombat, the first one, and you were like, oh, okay, that's cool, that's decent, and then you go and you see Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Like, what? Goodness. But
I was like, what, both times, though?
I mean, the first one was alright. The first one I liked the fact that they had Highlander, the guy that played Highlander playing Raiden. Yeah. That was sick, man. Yeah. That made the movie for me. That and Shang Tsung made the movie for me. Everything else
I liked Shang Tsung,
yeah. Yeah, Kerry Tagawa.
Yeah.
Great guy. Yeah, I actually did some, I wouldn't say work with him, but I did some events with him when I was a kid. And that dude was gigantic.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, Kerry Tagawa is like 7 feet tall. That's probably an exaggeration, but that's how it felt.
Right.
And not just tall, but like hugely muscular and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude was insane, but he was so nice.
Man. Yeah. But
I love the first Mortal Kombat movie. It's just, the second one, and you can talk about, legacies and, complain about them all day, and I agree. But the first one, it's just Enter the Dragon, but with supernatural elements. Yeah. I mean, that's all it is.
Yo, I mean, that's true.
Yeah, I love Enter the Dragon,
Hey, even the music in the beginning is similar.
Yeah.
Interesting. Like when they're going up the temple and whatnot, like it pans up the temple, and everybody's sitting there, and it's like Lord Raiden. Oh man, let me tell you, that movie right there, I watched 1,000 times back to back. Rush home from school, throw in the Mortal Kombat VHS, and just watch the movie. Rewind it if we hadn't before, but that was the only movie that we usually faithfully rewound because we knew we were gonna be watching it when we got home. And then, like, if whoever got home first would start watching it, and then other people would be like, man, come on, like, why you gonna start watching it? Because we all were big Mortal Kombat fans. Yep. Yeah, man. Anything else positive coming out of this that you can think of?
I would say for me, I've always been, Steve always known this, but I've always been a big gamer. That's always been my forte. But I've been doing it a lot more now, and I've been doing more detailed ones. I've been going through Resident Evil 3, like, on my 4th time already, on Inferno mode and playing Animal Crossing, and also getting to spend time, with the kids and everything.
Right.
And then I'm streaming a lot more now, too, which is something I used to do a lot, but, kind of bigged off, kind of drifted away from.
Yes, sir. Make sure y'all go check that out. The Bald Waffle.
Twitch.tv/The Bald Waffle.